Here's what losing my MMA debut taught me about winning at life. Because when you step into that cage, it's not just about fighting any opponent. It doesn't matter about the opponent. It's about facing every fear, every bit of doubt, and every version of yourself that keeps trying to talk you out of being here and winning and doing things in life that are worth doing. Because that was my MMA debut. That was something ticked off my bucket list. Months of training, diet locked in, visualization, adrenaline, and still, when that cage door closed, I realized something. It's never about who throws the better punches or throws the better kicks. It's about who's built deeper, who's more aligned. And that's exactly why I built the alignment blueprint in the first place. The link's in the description, so click it, it's free. It will change your life. It's changed my life, and it's changed so many men's lives since I started working with them. Because I've seen it too many times. Men who look successful on paper, but crumble the moment the pressure hits. Because they've got the money, the muscles, the status, but zero structure, no foundation. And that night when I lost, I didn't lose myself because I'd already done the internal work. And that was the first lesson that I wanted to share with you today, because you can be a winner even when you lose, and you can be a loser even when you win. So just really think about that. So it leads me on to the first point. The cage doesn't lie. In life, every man's got his own version of the cage. Maybe it's the boardroom. Maybe it's the marriage that's barely holding on. Maybe it's the fact that you're losing respect from your kids and your wife and at home doesn't feel safe. That's your cage. Maybe it's that silent moment at 2 a.m. when your thoughts just will not shut off, because the cage strips away all the illusions. It doesn't care about your social media. It doesn't care about your business card or your followers. It reveals your reality. Because when I walked into that cage, I realized something every high performer eventually faces at some point on their journey. You don't rise to the level of your potential or how good you think you're going to be. You fall to the level of your structure and your systems. Let me say that again. You don't rise to the level of your potential. You fall to the level of your structure and your systems, because you can't fake composure under pressure. You can't fake conditioning, and you definitely can't fake character for very long anyway. And that's why so many high performers are falling apart silently, because they've built success but without the alignment. And that's exactly why I created the alignment blueprint in the first place. It exists to fix that exact problem, because it's the foundation that makes your success sustainable and actually easy. Because aligning your mindset, movement and money, so that when life throws punches and kicks at you, you don't flinch, because life comes at every single one of us fast. Which leads me on to the next point. Winning and losing are just mirrors. So let's be honest, losing stings. I'm not buzzing about the fact that I lost, but it's the cleanest mirror that you'll ever stand in front of in your life, because it shows you whether your self-worth is tied to the outcomes or identity. Because that night, when my hand got raised, I didn't feel broken, I felt clear. Because my identity wasn't built on a scorecard. It was built on structure, consistency, and integrity. And then because of that, I feel good about it, because I'm going to come back bigger, better, stronger, and had a great experience do it. Because most men only feel good when they win. But if your peace only exists when you're on top, then you're not peaceful, you're dependent. And being dependent on the outcome or something external leaves you in such a weak point, because dependence is just weakness. And I used to chase validation all the time, through women, through money, through achievements, through validation. But no matter what I hit, I still felt restless, I still felt overwhelmed, I still felt anxious, because I was trying to fill a hole instead of trying to fix a system. And the blueprint changed all of that, because once your 3 M's, your mindset, your movement and your money are all in sync, that your sense of self isn't shaken by outcomes anymore. It can't be shaken by outcomes. You just keep moving forward, growing, learning and enjoying every single day of your life, because you can win even when you lose. But you can't lose, because you can't lose when your life is built on alignment and everything's feeding into each other. You know who you are as a person. Your mindset's building your money's building your mindset, which increases your movement. Because let's be honest, life gets real fast. The first punch lands and suddenly all the theory disappears. Every rep, every spar, every mental rehearsal got tested in a single second. And that's exactly how life works. 1 minute you're confident, you feel like, yeah, I can't be taken off this spot. The next, life hits you with layoffs, heartbreak, betrayals, self-doubt, and you either react or you respond. Because that choice depends entirely on how aligned you are and how unshakable your self-confidence is. Because if your mindset's chaotic, you'll crumble. If your body's weak, you'll freeze up. And if your money's messy, you're going to be panicked, stressed, overwhelmed, anxious. Because alignment isn't about perfection. It's about predictability. When your systems are aligned, your nervous system stays calm, even when the chaos hits. And that's what separates the men who drift from the men who dominate. from the drifters who get emotional to the aligned who stay operational. And that's why when I say discipline is the highest form of peace, I really, really do mean that. Discipline is not something to be shied away from. It is the highest form of peace, which leads me on to the next point of you either sink or swim, because pressure doesn't create weakness, it exposes it. And the truth is, comfort is going to kill more dreams and does kill more dreams than failure ever will. Because when I was caught in the fight, every instinct was screaming to me, quit, find a way out, take a knee. But the moment you give in, you start to build a habit of a loser and of a person who collapses and crumbles when life gets hard. And that's how most men live. They break in silence. They retreat into distractions, into excuses, into drugs, into alcohol, and then they sink quietly, losing the bits of power day by day by day. It's a 1% downward spiral. But those who learn to swim, they've built internal order because they've trained themselves to stay calm in the chaos. They've learned that you don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to keep moving forward, because alignment isn't about confidence. It's about control. Control of your thoughts up here. Control of your habits, control of your energy. Because when your internal world is structured, no amount of external noise can sink you. Let me say that again. When your internal world is structured, no amount of external noise can sink you or make you feel any less than you feel. And the morning after, nobody talks about the next day, after the fight, after the loss, after the adrenaline's faded. You wake up, I've woke up today a bit sore, a bit tired, a little bit empty, but you know what you realise? Is life doesn't stop. The world doesn't care. The sun still rises and sets at night. You've still got choices to make. You've still got money to make. You've still got lives to impact. And that's when you see what kind of man that you really are. Because some men go downwards in horrible spirals. Some men make excuses. Some get up, take a deep breath and move again and get back to winning, because that's exactly how winning's done. I'm catching a flight tomorrow. I've got some business trip in Spain. I'm going to keep moving forward. That's alignment. That's resilience, because true success is never about failing. It's about how you stand up when you do fall, because every single one of us is going to fall in life, but it's how you get back up and keep moving. Every day you're training your response. You're either getting stronger or you're getting weaker. And most men waste years just emotionally reacting instead of rebuilding strategically and putting systems and habits in place. That's why I always go back to the alignment blueprint. It's a structure that brings you back to neutral so you can rebuild and keep building without emotion clouding your execution. And the link's in the bio. It's free. Go and download it or comment a line on this video and I'll send it through to you, because pain is the price of power, because you cannot fake your way through a fight. You can't lie your way out of discomfort, and you definitely cannot outsource pain, because every punch, every failure, every loss, every situation that you get into is feedback, and pain is just data with emotion attached, which means it's got more meaning, more power over you. And data is power if you know how to use it. That's if you know how to use it, because most men avoid pain completely. But when you're aligned, you use it as the most powerful fuel for growth possible. You extract the lesson, you integrate it, and you get sharper. That's how you become dangerous. Not because you're invincible, but because you've mastered the art of recovery and bouncing back and getting stronger and better every single time. Because pain doesn't scare me anymore, because I know it's just refining me and it's making me unfootwivable. And regardless of a win or a loss last night, I know that I'm a winner in every sense of the word. But here's what every high performer needs to understand, and it's the lesson from this video I really want you to take away. The men I coach, CEOs, founders, athletes, they all say the same thing. I look like I'm winning, I'm earning six figures, but I feel like I'm drowning. Because they've built the wealth, but they've lost their peace. They've gained control, but they've lost connection. They're performing and they're surviving, but they're not living and thriving. And that's exactly what losing my fight reminded me of, because you can win at life and still be miserable if you're not aligned. Because success without peace is not success at all. It's just slavery to them external conditions, to the outcome. But your body, your schedule, your mind, they all need order. They all need purpose. And that's exactly what the alignment blueprint rebuilds. You'll hear me talk about it in every single video, because it's the free system. It's changed my life. It's changed other men's life. It's a structure. It's a way to get your life back under command. Because when your mindset, your movement and your money are aligned, you stop feeling like you're just juggling chaos, and you start moving like a weapon, and you operate with peace. You lead with presence, And it's a beautiful feeling. I can't explain to you the way when you get the 3 M's aligned, mindset, movement and money, the way they feed into each other, because those lessons apply absolutely everywhere. Because the cage taught me things that I'll take into every area of my life moving forward. You do not find clarity in comfort. You find it in confrontation and challenging yourself. Because you can't control every outcome, but you can control your structure and what you take away from every outcome. Because your worth is built on consistency and who you become, not on the applause or the external validation. Because if you're aligned, failure can't break you. It just builds you. And every one of those principles applies to business, to relationships, to personal growth. And if you ignore them, life's just going to keep teaching you the hard way over and over again. And the lessons will just keep getting harder and harder until you say, right, fucking hell, I've got to learn this lesson now. Because being unfuckwivable isn't about being untouchable. People think when I say being unfuckwivable means that nothing can hurt you, but that's not what it means whatsoever. It means that nothing can stop you, because you can still get hurt, you can still get heartbroken, you can get betrayed, you can lose money, you can lose anything, you can have setbacks, but you'll always move through it with peace, with clarity and composure, and grow from it, because your foundations are solid. That's why the work I do with my private clients isn't about motivation. I don't pat them on the back and say, yeah, it's all going to be all good, positive thinking, although I'm a massive advocate of positive thinking. It's about mastery, because aligned men do not chase peace. They create it through their actions and through their systems, which leads me on to the real win. Last night, when I walked out of that cage, I was smiling wide. Not because I liked losing, because trust me, I didn't, and I don't, and I never will like losing, but because I realised something a lot deeper. I don't need to fight to win anymore. I fight to grow, and that was my MMA debut, but I've had plenty of wins in boxing, and I know the feeling of winning and losing, and that's the secret that most men miss. Winning is temporary, but growth is permanent. So if you're building your life just to win, you're always going to feel empty. You're always going to be building to grow. You're always, if you are building to grow in your life and consistently compounding the growth, you're going to always feel aligned. And imagine that feeling. That's what being unfuckwivable. No matter what happens in life, good or bad, you'll still feel amazing. But here's the truth: you don't need another motivational quote. You need a system. You need to rebuild your mindset, your movement, and your money from the inside out. You need alignment. That's what the alignment blueprint gives you. A free, step-by-step system to help you realign your life, your energy, and your results. So click the link in the description. It's free. You've literally got nothing to lose. It's changed my life, and it's changed hundreds of lives, men who's downloaded it. The testimonials are endless. So if this message hit home, if you're tired of looking successful whilst feeling disconnected, go download the blueprint, and I look forward to hearing how it changes your life, because I've lived both sides of it. I've had the money, the body, the validation, the life look good on the outside, and I've stood in that cage with everything stripped away. And out of all the highs, the lows, the ups, the downs, the side to side, the only thing that remained or that mattered was alignment, and is alignment. That's the difference between men who break and men who build, between those who chase and between those who command. And you've got to be the latter. Get aligned, become unfuckwivable. So like I say, click the link in the description, download the alignment blueprint, and I'll see you in the next video. Let's go.